Hey everybody, hi Kelly. Oh, you popped right in. You made my whole day. Make sure you unmute yourself, ma'am. And then
Hello, hello.
sorry everybody for confusing you with the timer mishap.
That's all right. No worries.
My
I
daughter
totally
popped
get
in.
it.
She was like, I see still a little emoji screen come up, and I'm like, oh no. And then I'm like, oh well, that's fine then. We're not gonna worry about it.
I get it. I get it. It happens. Technology is your friend sometimes, and sometimes it's not.
Yes, and sometimes my child is not too. So we're good with that. All right. Well, for those of you who are in Project Broadcast and on our YouTube right now, we have a really awesome, amazing opportunity today with Miss Kellie Hoover. I reached out to her probably a week or two, a couple weeks ago, and just was like, "Look, you got to share your subject matter expert with my whole group here of people, and we're also streaming live into her group today." But Miss Kellie, please give a brief introduction about yourself and what we get to talk about today, because I'm very excited for it.
Oh, awesome. I'm so excited. And hello, everyone. My name is Kellie. I am a mom. I am a wife. I am a multi business owner. I'm someone who has learned, I am not technology savvy, but I have learned to use several tools, one being Project Broadcast, to really grow and help my business and different types of businesses. So I started out, I was a college tennis player. I love to be athletic. I don't get to play a lot anymore, but I just love people. I love to be able to help people. And I started my career in the pharmaceutical industry. And I found out through that I just love being able to serve and love being able to help. But I got really sick. I had a very, very rare brain tumor about 8 years ago, right? I'm okay, but it was a very traumatic time in my life. And when something like that happens, you always hear that cliche thing that people are like, don't examine your life when something really bad happens, like do it before. Well, I was that person who didn't. So I re-examined. But my point in sharing that is that it was a storm in my life and it was such a gift. Most people don't look and say, my brain tumor or something, a storm in your life was a gift, but it was. It got me into being a business owner. It got me into being in the best health of my life in my mid 40s. And I started my entrepreneur life in health and wellness with a network marketing company and was really able to serve women specifically, but just people in helping them feel better. That also kind of led into brick and mortars to different online spaces. And here I am now, 8 years later, working for myself full time, living a very busy life, juggling a lot of different things. So I'm always looking for ways to show up, tricks to be better, ways to duplicate myself, that I don't have to be, on my phone and everything all the time. So I'm excited for this conversation, and I hope that I can bring some value to you all today.
That is quite the impressive intro. I'm hoping your continued success in dealing with
Thank you.
that crazy health issue, because I don't know many people that can come back the way you did and be as positive and genuine and put so much back into everybody else. But I'm excited for today. So, ma'am, take it away. I'm
Yeah.
excited to chat.
Yeah, awesome. Well, and please, you guys, if you have questions, if you're watching from a platform where you can ask questions, I know I can't see them, but Joanna, just
I'll
interrupt
pop
me.
them
Yeah, ask because I want you guys, you're taking time to listen to this either live on the replay, and I want you to get the most out of it. Some of the things that I'll discuss today, you'll see it says you can text the word online and there's a phone number. And I have just a nice little gift that's wrapped in a cute little bow for you using my Project Broadcast service. So you guys can get that with some things I'm going to talk about. So one of the things I always want to share with people is, we all start, like our subject today is really talking about how to be consistent with your online presence. And why is that important? Okay. And it doesn't matter what kind of business you have the ability to reach so many more people with being online, right? With utilizing social media, with using so many things. People's attention spans are so short. So you really have to hit people at different angles using different things. And so I want to just share with you that it doesn't matter where you're at with your skill level. All right. Um, it doesn't matter because everything you can learn. And I want to share when I became an entrepreneur and I had 300 connections on one social media platform. I don't know if anybody can relate. It's like, it's so overwhelming, right? It's like so many dings, so many messages. Now we got everything. We got, you've got on different platforms, you have 3, 4, 5, 6 different things on each platform. How can I keep up? I've got texting, I've got emails, I've got blogs, I've got all the things. So I just want to share with you that it doesn't matter if you are a baby in learning. Learn something, figure out how it works for you, and stay consistent with it. All right. You don't need to learn all the things all at once. So when I first started, I had 300 connections. I had a Facebook profile, and that was it. I posted twice a year, and it was thank you for the birthday wishes. That was it. And Merry Christmas. Okay. That was all. But don't you believe I was on there stalking everyone else.
Yep.
What's up, North Carolina? I see that person. We're neighbors. But the cool thing about that is that I had someone early on in my career just says, follow the leader. Follow the leader. Find someone you admire. It doesn't even have to be within your business, your organization, but find someone you want to admire, that you want to simulate whatever your goals are after that, and be a good copycat. Follow what they do. I'm not talking about copying their words, but follow their actions, their disciplines, and today specifically their consistency, right? So it's so incredibly true. So I just kind of want to like set the stage for that, Joanna, that it's so important. You don't have to be consistent across all 800 things, but start with one and be consistent with that and continue to add on to it.
I love that. I love that so much. I think a lot of times, like you said, people get really overwhelmed, and being able to just kind of stop and be like, get good at one thing and then take the next step. And we say that same thing with Project Broadcast. We're constantly like, please don't try to do prospecting and team and customer and vendor events. Like, try to just pick one thing, send out your first message, and just start from there. So I am already like, this is perfect, because I even get overwhelmed. Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Marco Polo, Voxer. I mean, you name it, I'm having conversations on it with somebody. So this is definitely going to be me taking.
Okay, awesome. Well, you guys, there's going to be more things that we are going to chat about, but today I really want to give you, and if you're taking notes or like you're kind of jotting, again, you can text and I can give it to you, but there's really 8 key points when I specifically think about being consistent and what that looks like. So why do you want to be consistent, right? Why do you want to be consistent on there? The first thing is establishing trust. All right. Okay. So if you are selling something, you are marketing something, you have a brick and mortar business, you're in network marketing, wherever you are, whatever you're doing, you want to be consistent so people know who you are and they build that trust with you. Okay. So one of the cool things about Joanna and I is we got connected from a podcast from 3 years ago, I think, maybe 4 years ago. Right. And I guarantee you that when Joanna reached out to me, she already felt like she had a little bit of knowledge and she knew who I was. And then when we connected, it was like an instant connection, right?
Absolutely.
And there was already some trust that was built there. And she probably went and checked out some other stuff to see if I was like legit and all that, right? And which is cool. I would have too. That's what we should be doing, right? Especially if you're bringing people on a platform. But what I want you to know about that is the reason that the answers were there that she was looking for was because there was consistency, because there was trust. Okay. And when you post valuable content on a consistent basis, you engage with your audience, you engage with your network online. It doesn't matter the platform. It doesn't matter. You could be texting through Project Broadcast. You can be talking over Instagram. The platform does not matter. But when you build trust with your followers, you have it, right? Like that is in my opinion, the very first thing to really, really establish is just building that trust. And it's, especially if you're in network marketing, there's a lot of not trust things.
Yes. Oh my God. It's so.
We can say it.
I like that you put it out there. You're just like, there's a lot of not trust. I mean, like you can even see it in just normal everyday things. Like you can be like, do I want to go down this road with this system because this person's presenting it? Do I want to do this? Do I want to do it? Well, how do I know it's going to work? And that's exactly why you're right. You've got to be consistent with that online presence, because if you consistently give value and education, I have loyalty with you. I trust you, and I'm more likely to pursue a service with you or pursue anything with you because of that.
Yeah, 100%. So number one is, in my opinion, is really just establishing that trust. And when you show up on a consistent basis and talk about, like, that's a whole nother, like what you talk about, that's a whole nother training, but like just being consistent and building that trust, people get to know you, right? The next thing I do want to bring up, and I'm not gonna dive so much into it, but I just want to talk about brand, like being recognized and being consistent with the same sort of thing. So yes, if you're only more advanced in and you have the branding, you can have like your colors, you can have logos, you can have visual things that are cool. But you don't have to have that. If you're at the baby end, talk about the same thing. All right. When somebody comes to your page, they should have a little bit of an idea of who you are. You'll come to my page, and yes, you may know, see about the health and wellness things I talk about, but you're also going to see that I'm raising teenagers, and I make jokes about it, and I talk about, like, you know, the challenge of it and the things that we do in our home on a consistent basis to be, you know, in the moment and living the difficult life that it is for kids these days. But you'll get that. You'll see that is part of my brand. Now, the network marketers, I'm going to speak specifically to you all because I feel like this is something, as a leader in the industry, I have to say, you are not your company. All right. Your brand is not your company. All right. You are you. The brand that you love and that you're talking about and you're promoting on social media is part of who you are, but it's not who you are. Right.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm sorry. This is my soapbox right here. So please.
Is it?
Yeah. I'm like, you can have as part of who you are. Because like we always talk about, send out a weekly text, a tip, but it shouldn't be just fundamentally your business, like that specific network marketing company. It should be like, you also like to work out, or you like to go to the park with your kids, or like you love to cook on Sundays. But yeah, so please, I apologize for interrupting. I just
No. Oh my gosh.
Please.
This is a conversation. So please, you jump in at any point, but it is true, because you need to figure out like your brand, who you are as a person. And then you know, you talk about that. And I would also encourage you, don't just talk about the product, talk about what it solves. Talk about how it makes people feel, and solving those pain points, because again, you're going to establish trust, and you are going to really truly build who you are. I never want to walk away and people be like, like, you know, if you're in your local grocery store and people are like, oh my God, there she is. There she is. Like, I've been that girl when I got started. Okay. So like, I know that girl. Don't be that person. All right. And so you want to have other things. You want to be, you know, have other brand recognition, be you. And yes, you can have I love my products. I love them. They changed my life and a lot of other people's, but there is so much more to me than just that. All right. And people will cut you short if they just think that you're about your products. All right.
Love it. Yes. If you want to write that down, write down, you are so much more than just your products. Thank you.
Yes. Or your opportunity. You're so much more than your opportunity too. Okay. So yes. All right. So that's the second thing. The third thing that I really want to share with you guys is audience engagement, being consistent. Okay. And so you may be like, okay, Kelly, well, I'm managing Facebook, I'm managing, you know, Instagram, I'm using Project Broadcast, I'm trying to get on, learn that crazy TikTok thing. Like, I'm trying to do all of these things. So like, where do I put my time? You guys, you can be present, but maybe you have one platform that you're like, I'm pouring into this platform and I'm really engaging here. Wherever it is, be consistent with it. But as far as the engagement goes, like, interact with people. Right? Like, if people comment on your stuff, if they ask you a question, I do know that sometimes things fall through the cracks and you may not see it. And I'm not telling you to be glued to your phone, But for the most part, get back to people, get to know people, follow people, check your other box, check your request box, because you never know who may be sitting in there. And just get to know, be kind, be social on social media, and be consistent at it. All right. Again, it goes back to the top.
I love that 100%. And I mean, think about it. You could even, I mean, you don't have to be glued to your phone, but if you're going to post something, I would be cognizant of it for like 30 minutes, not like
Absolutely.
staring and waiting, but maybe check back in like 5 minutes or at 15 minutes, because you don't want to lose out on that opportunity to say something back, to show that you're being present. So if you are going to have something on social media, just like she said, be social on social media. I'm just like, I need these like little mottos, little things here. God, these are good.
Yeah, I love it. Be social on social media. So another thing that I want to share with you guys, that a way, if you're utilizing Project Broadcast or you are thinking about using it. So here's a really great thing. Like I told you in the beginning, like I'm in the thick of lives right now. I'm running multiple businesses. I'm driving children around to multiple activities. Like I don't have time to sit on social media and be social a lot. But what you can do is you can set yourself up for success. Just this little simple thing right here where it says text online, you're going to get something back, right? Like I don't need to be here to do that. So what if you have something in your link, in your bio, in your call to action, on your reel, wherever, that says text this, and you have some things set up. There's some great training on Project Broadcast, like how to set up automations. Again, I already warned you, I am not tech savvy, but I got it figured out. Okay, so if I can do it, you can too. But the reality is like, make yourself as automated as you can. And that's why I love this system, because it can be automated, right? Like I don't have to be glued to my phone, because I know I've got some back end stuff. And, you can continue to do that. So I just kind of wanted to like say that's a great place to utilize it. And you can be very, very simple with that. You can also do it with your email, right? Like if you're trying to create an email campaign, you can do that as well.
I'm gonna interrupt really quick. If you're watching on any of the streaming services, I would love for you to put in the comment section an app or a system you're using, because you all know my opinion on this. I like Project Broadcast, but I also like social media. I also like email. I also like vendor events. So I want to hear whatever, the problems that you're having, where you're trying to be automated, or you're trying to have a follow-up system, or you're trying to get prospects, whatever apps or systems you're using. I'd love to see it in the comments. Keep on going, Miss Kelly. Thank you.
Yeah, no, it's great. So yes, I'm going to give you another little idea for your business, okay, that you can use with Project Broadcast or an email system, is like choose this word. Okay, so I'm going to give you an example. I love a morning routine. My life changed when I got my mornings in order. All right. And so you can email, you can text, and you can text literally the word morning, and you receive a gift back from me that gives you how to schedule your own morning routine and things like that. So you can utilize that. You guys, it has nothing to do with any of my business, but guess what? Now you will get my normal communications, right? You'll get my general type of emails back. You'll get my general type of text back. You get these sort of things just because I gave you some value, right? I'm building that trust with you. So, is that an emergency?
Alert. I completely forgot that it was going on today. So if anybody's phone is going off right now, it's just a FEMA alert. It was planned. We're fine. Let's get back into Project.
Let's get back to it. That's interesting that they both went out. So yes, so I love it. Okay, so the next thing I want to share with you, and this is really the fourth thing that I kind of like came up with when I'm really thinking about consistency, is just staying on top of mind. Why be consistent? Why be consistent? Because you want to be top of mind. You want to constantly like think about it. Now imagine if Project Broadcast, imagine if Kelly posted one thing once a week. You're not going to think of me. You're not going to think of Project Broadcast. They're not going to think of you. So being consistent on social media with your resources is really truly staying top of mind. All right. It allows you to remain on people's radar. And they're like, because I don't know the exact statistics. Okay. But I know 10, 15 years ago was 8 to 12 times. People need to see you 8 to 12 times before they purchase. I guarantee you now we're sold to everywhere we go. It's probably 15 to 20 times now.
Oh
All
my
right.
God. TikTok even has a shop now. You got your FYP, you're following and shop. So we're just inundated, you guys, with tons of stuff. Absolutely.
Yeah. So you have to be consistent. You have to be top of mind. All right. So the next one is just your commitment. All right. So there's a lot of people, especially in the network marketing. I'm sorry, I'm not picking on everyone. I love the industry. I'm in the industry. But there are people who come in, they do a few things and then they leave, right? Or they don't take it serious. You guys, it's a legitimate business for a lot of people, right? And I want you to think that being consistent on social media, it demonstrates your commitment. It demonstrates your commitment to serving people who are following you. It demonstrates your commitment to whatever your business, to whatever your niche is that you're doing. All right. And it also signals to people, hey, I'm serious about this. You know, like a lot of times I found, Joanna, when I was going from pharmaceuticals and I had this I called it golden handcuffs job because everybody was like, it's a great gig. It pays well, blah, 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 blah. It has all these things. And then I left to become a full-time network marketer. People are like, you have gone off the deep end. You are crazy. Like, why would you do that? I had to prove to them that this was real for me. It was business for me. And it was that commitment. It was the commitment. So I'm going to ask you, what's your commitment? Like, what is your commitment to showing up online? And then the last few points that I really wanted to kind of bring to your attention was authority, building authority in your space. All right. Yes, you may not know everything. Like I saw a comment pop up a minute ago, like I'm new to Project Broadcast. I'm trying to learn. Be new. Ask questions, get on the trainings, learn from people, go in and just be new, because as you show up consistently, you will build your authority, right? You'll build your authority with whatever it is that your business is. And so now when people come to me and they want me to help, like a tired, worn out, exhausted mom, they come to me and they know I'm going to help them. They know I have authority in that space because I've been consistently showing up there, right?
I love that. I love that talk. That is, I've never had a word to put to describe that before, but you're right. When you're consistent and you're educated on something, you become an authority on that, so that people will come to you and be like, well, I kind of want to duplicate what she's doing because I can see that she's doing it well, and doing it because she was once new at it, just like everybody else, but then she did it consistently and she grew. I love that. That is so good.
Yeah. And it's just, and it's easy. It's really, truly easy. And you can be an authority in a lot of different things. It doesn't, again, it's your brand. It's not what you're selling, right? Like that is what draws people to. I know people are drawn to me because the things I talk about that have absolutely outside to do with my health and wellness brand, that have absolutely outside to do with my brick and mortar business, right? They come and they're attracted because of, they feel like I have authority in something I'm talking about, right? And I'm confident that I do. So the last two things I want to share with you is growth. When you show up and you're consistent on social media, on your platforms, you're going to grow your audience, right? You're going to post regularly. You're going to engage regularly. You're going to have organic growth. And if you're consistent and you're reaching out, you're going to connect with new people, right? A friend of a friend's going to be like, hey, go follow this. A friend of a friend's going to be like, hey, you got to really use this, texting system. Do you not use this in your, why? Because of all these things we've talked about, right? Your growth will grow, right? Do things like, who knew that we'd be sitting here, Joanna, talking about, this topic when I recorded a podcast 4 years ago.
Yes, 100%, 100%.
Right. And then the last final thing, I know I've given you guys a lot to think about, but the last final thing I want to talk about, that when you show up consistently, is your messaging, what you're saying. Okay. Now I may rub people the wrong way a little bit when I say it, but I'm going to say it. Be mindful what you post. Like, I'm going to give you an example. So I am the girl who loves rainbows and unicorns. My glasses always have full, even if I am living amongst a storm of my life. All right. My day may have gone to HE double hockey sticks, but I'm going to see that hockey stick has a bow on it. All right. Like, yes, I will tell you, I woke up this morning in a bad mood. I had a few things happen to me this morning that were out of my control that were like, and I literally had to get myself in the car and I had to like, girlfriend, you got to get out of this. Like, we're not running our day like this. You don't know what's going to happen. This isn't who we are and who we want to be. Right. But it's okay to do that, but don't stay there. So I want you to think about like the consistent of your message. If you show up on your online platforms and you're always talking about political things, you're always talking about negative stuff, you're always talking about woe is this, woe is that. Like, do you really think you're going to attract the people you want to attract?
Hey, if that's your brand and you want to attract those people, but again, maybe not.
Maybe not. And maybe it is. Maybe that is your brand. And if that is, then you're doing the right thing. But I just want you to think. I just want you to think. I love that. A few bad minutes in my day doesn't make the whole day bad. Yes. So true. Thank you for sharing that. Because here's the thing, when you show up consistently, and I will show up, you'll probably, if you're going to follow me on social media, you're going to hear me later today talk about how my day started crappy and what I did to turn it around. Because guess what? That's real. Guess what? People are going to be like, oh, she's not just some fake person who shows up and talks about unicorns and rainbows and how great everything is all the time. No, because it's not the truth. Because be consistent and be effective and be real. And if it remains the same, it remains like with your brand values, like who you are as a human values, who you are, and where you are with that, and you effectively show up like that on a regular basis. It doesn't mean that you have to be fake, but if you effectively come and you show just a tweak of vulnerability, that you're human, that it is amazing the kind of connections, real, genuine connections that you can make. And all the 7 things that we talked about, this is the bow at the end. This is the end for you to be like, okay, I'm going to show up. I'm going to be consistent. I don't know exactly what I'm going to say yet, but I'm going to figure it out. And again, consistent looks different for everyone. I saw someone earlier share like, well, I can't post on Facebook, 5 times a day, or I can't post on you don't need to. Do what's right for you. It may be that you post on a different platform every day, but just be consistent in what works for you.
Oh, I love that so much. This was huge. I cannot say thank you enough. And for those of you who are listening or watching, there's going to be a couple more events in this series because I harassed her and was like, I need more than just one interview with you or one episode with you. You have already brought such a huge idea to me today, just in being consistent. And my favorite part was honestly the be social on social media, because I mean, you guys have to think about it. Social media is adjusting itself. We're getting into the political season. And if you're going to want to create a brand on social media, you have to be cognizant of who you are on social media, because that's people's a lot of times first impression of you. So she really, really gave us some really good tips today. Make sure, I know you guys can see it right here, text online to 803-855-1717. If you're not following her on Instagram, if you're not in her Facebook groups, then you should be going that way right now. Her branding is amazing, by the way. I love it so much. So
Thank you.
We're definitely going to come back. We're going to be here in the coming weeks, and I can't wait to chat with you more. Kellie, I really appreciate it today.
Oh my gosh, you are amazing. Thank you so much. You guys, can I give them a sneak peek what the next 2 are going to be about? Okay, because I'm excited. All right, so the next one, we're going to be talking about you guys going from being a stranger on social media to a customer, and like really helping guide you through like what that looks like through this process of becoming like a customer journey, going from a stranger. And then I know we kind of tweaked it yesterday, so I can share. This is like huge when Blair told me we were going to do this, but one of my business partners and I are going to come on with Joanna, and we are going to talk to you guys about something that is signature. We have done for years now. We have taught other female entrepreneurs how to do this. We used to sell it, but you're going to get it totally free because you're right here, part of this group. It's the 12 days of giving, and we're going to share with you the strategy behind it and how it can truly set you up during the holiday season for what could potentially be your biggest year in your business. And it's very adaptable to anything. So I'm excited about that. We'll make sure to bring it to you on these next 2 trainings. Thanks so much for having me.
Yeah, guys, make sure you tune in because it's that time of year. All right, Kelly, thank you so much, ma'am. I'll see everybody soon.